Hello, it's a little update today because I don't have a lot to talk about. The looms are not worth talking about at the moment. The little loom looks exactly like it did last week, almost exactly like it did last week. I've done maybe 3 centimetres on it. It's just been put to one side for a week. I've been sort of shifting it down in the priorities list. It's fine. I'll pick it up this week, perhaps, maybe. If not, it will forgive me. The big loom currently looks like this. That warp went on today. I haven't had a chance to sit down and actually start weaving on it. So hopefully this evening, if not, some point this week. But it's looking very plain at the minute. So we'll talk about that next week when hopefully I will either have it still on the loom but more interesting to look at, or off the loom and I'll be able to hold it up. Speaking of holding things up, this one has had its wet finish and it's great. I don't know if I'm in shot. Yes, I am. Look at the colours in that. It's still ridiculous. So the wet finish hasn't changed to this chenille type yarn at all. It hasn't bloomed. There was no shrinkage in it. I wasn't expecting any. But what it has done is worked on the warp. So the stripes are a little bit more prominent. Am I in shot? Yes. The stripes are a little bit more prominent in the warp. So that yellow and pink stripe, which sort of breaks up those purple stripes, it's just a bit more visible. I need to trim the ends of the fringe because they're a little bit rough and I forgot to trim them before I brought this in, but I'm really happy with this. It's stayed really soft after its wet finish, so I'm pleased with that. I love the colour pooling, and the next time I walk past this shop I am going to buy some more of this, because not in this colourway because I've still got a ball of that, but in the other colours, because I just think it weaves up really well, makes a nice snuggly quick weave. So pleased with that. I'm going to put that over here. Now, last week I had something on the big loom with a very dent heddle, and that is off the big loom. That came off the big loom last night, and it is ridiculous. So I'm going to show you. So this is not wet finished. You can see how crumply it is? That's because the tension is ridiculous. This was such a fun weave though. Battling the tension was what caused me to finish it though. So I could have maybe done that much more. But the tension on the thin side, which is this side here, where the yarn's a bit thinner in the warp, was just all over the place, and I decided that it was just time. It was just time to stop. So the tension, as you can see, is all over the place, and that means I've also got a lot of floats. So you can see there, sorry, I've got my phone being the viewfinder again, and I'm showing the phone. I must get used to that. So you can see those yellow stripes there, those little yellow dashes, those are floats, and that's just because the tension was weird. And there's floats all through it. Don't even mind, it's chaos. So this is how it's looking at the moment, and what I've done is machined the ends. So I'll show you one of the ends. So that's had a zigzag machine stitch along it to hold it together, and then I've cut the fringe off because, as I said last week, I didn't want to have this yarn, this bulky yarn, as the fringe, because it falls apart and because it wouldn't twist very well, and because I didn't want to hem every individual strand. So now the question becomes, what do I do to finish this? Because if I do a folded hem, which I'm not going to do, but one of the reasons I'm not doing it, or in fact the only reason I'm not doing it, is because it would be a double fold hem, and with that thick yarn it's just going to be too chunky. So what I am going to do is use some of this ribbon yarn that I have left over. I'm going to join it together. Actually, let me actually grab some. I meant to bring some in. Let me go and grab some, and then I can show you what I'm talking about. All right, here's what I'm talking about. So this is the ribbon yarn, and this is the yarn I didn't want to hem because it would fall apart in the fringe. I don't have time to be hemming things like that. So what I'm going to do is get 2 lengths of this per end, join them together down the middle, which I won't be doing with crochet. I will be doing it with a darning needle and some yarn, just to make them double wide. And then, let me hold this up professionally so you can see what I'm going to talk about. What I plan to do is, hang on, I'm getting there, encase the ends in that ribbon yarn. But this isn't wide enough on its own or as one strand to go around the ends. So if I double it, then I'll have that side and then the same on that side, and that will encase that raw edge, which is not really a raw edge because it's machine stitched, but it's an unattractive edge. So that's the plan. We'll see how I get on with that. It should take a long time and be quite fiddly, which apparently I enjoy. I don't know. Anyway, I will show you this next week. It should be, show you the interesting side. I will show you this next week. It should be wet finished by then, and we can see what the tension issues shake out to be. But it is, I mean, it's very, It's very all over the place, and I respect that. I kind of love it. It's ridiculous. Now, I'm going over here for a minute to put this down because I have cross stitch to talk about. So, I was working on Myrtle the Turtle, and I paused Myrtle because I was waiting for a better yellow to arrive. So I did start, here we go, on Ellie the Elephant. And my concern with Ellie is that I was going to run out of that pink thread. So I thought I'm going to push through because the yellow threads did arrive. I'll talk about those in a sec. I pushed through. I wasn't having, am I holding that up in any good way? No, what if I do that? Is that better? There we go. I pushed through. This bit wasn't, I knew this bit was going to be a little bit tedious, and it was. But I've done the pink part of Ellie. Now, the reason Ellie is a weird shape is because if you have a look at the design there, you can see that's not in focus. That's barely better, I think. I'm not sure. I'm wearing the wrong glasses. So she has a little hat and a little blanket, and that's why she's a weird shape. So I did push through. I do have enough of the pink, which is good. I should stop shaking that around so you can actually look at it, because I need more pink for the flowers that Ellie will be holding. And in fact, all of the designs are holding flowers. So even though the yellow yarns arrived, I did finish the pink for Ellie, and then I went back to Myrtle, who is looking like this. Now, this yellow. Last time I held this up, which was it last week? I don't recall. Probably. I was saying that I didn't like the yellow that was in that little flower there. I didn't like it because it was just a bit meh, you know. So when I ordered a load of threads for some Christmas ornaments that I'm making, I threw in a couple of Cosmo, which this is Cosmo brand thread, floss, and I threw in a couple of their yellows just to see what would happen. And I did get a nice bright yellow, and I did start putting it in last night. I pulled this flower out and put the new bright yellow in and thought, still not really standing out, but it might just be because that is such a teeny tiny little flower there. And then I started this flower up the top, and I held it up at arm's length. There we go. And I went, I can't see that at all. So I'm going to show you the yellows, because what I ended up doing was, as I said, I'd ordered a load of threads for the Christmas ornaments, and there's a lot of yellow, not a lot, but there's a few yellows in that. And it's quite a big palette, I must say. I've got quite a big box of threads. Anyway, I thought, well, I'll rat through those and see if there's a yellow in there that works better. So let me grab my yellows, which I'm sure I brought in with me. I definitely brought them in. They're around here somewhere. Hang on. Okay, here we go. They were on the floor, which is not where I left them, but that's okay. So this is the yellow. Ignore this skein. I got it caught in my scissors. This is the yellow. Can I get that in the light? Let me put those down and not lose them. There we go. So this is the yellow that the chart calls for, which is Cosmo 2009, which is a little bit greeny. It's got a real green. In some lights it is, to my eye, green. So I thought, well, that's not standing out very well, and it's also just a little bit of a meh colour. So when I ordered the other threads, I thought I'll try a couple of the other Cosmo yellows, and one of the ones that I got was this one, which is Cosmo 300. And you can see next to the 2009, it's a nice bright, holding that up so well so that you can actually see them. There we go. It's a nice bright yellow. It's a nice bright, clear, pure yellow. It does not show up very well against white. If there was another colour around it, it would have been fine. So I went through the threads that I bought for the Christmas ornaments, and I am now using DMC 743, which is a more golden yellow. Did you expect to hear so much about threads today? No. Did I expect to be telling you so much about threads today? No. Yet here we are. So after some trial and error and pulling out a lot of stitches, now where have I put Myrtle? Hang on a minute. Here she is. I got her. Here she is. Here she is. So after a lot of trial and error, pulling out this flower twice and pulling out half of this flower once, I have reached a yellow that I like. I don't know that it's the perfect match for this palette, but I like it, so it's staying. And I don't want to have to pull out this flower again, and I certainly don't want to have to pull out this little tiny flower again. So I feel like this one stands out better than the 2009 did, because that just kind of, as I said, it was a bit muddy. And I think it's a nice, bright, clear yellow, and I'm happier with that than I was with either of the other two. So Myrtle is progressing. This one is a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I got. I'm going to go and get Ellie again so I can hold her up too. Hang on. I don't want her to feel left out. Hi. So Ellie, holding her up so well. Not enough hands. So Ellie needs her ears done, and then she's going to have a spray of flowers above her. I'm going to put Ellie on pause now that I've got the pink out of the way and finish Myrtle. That's the goal. And that is all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself. Have a lovely rest of your week. And I will see you next time. There may be a bonus video in that I have ordered another mystery box, because I am weak and it may have yarn in it. Anyway, there may be a bonus video this week. If not, then it'll be next week, in which case I'm really giving you some advance warning on that. So clear your diary. You take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.